Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dokkan here, and today we're going to be doing a quick overview of the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks event, the unparalleled Paragon of Hope. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so there are 3 levels here. You have level 1, Fusion of Hope. It's pretty simple. You have it on normal, hard, and Z hard. Pretty easy event to go through. You can go ahead and farm up capsules for training and awakening medals. You got some decent experience there. You get about 50,000 per run, so you might want to go ahead and do that when you're on Z hard. The next one is level 2, Super Gotenks. Now, if you're a newer player, this is going to be a lot more difficult for you. There are 3 rounds. The first round isn't that hard. It is the Technique and Intelligence, Goten and Trunks. Both of those Dokkan awaken into Gotenks. The next one, the second round, is going to be the Physical Gotenks, the Super Saiyan Gotenks. Now, this one, if he launches a super attack, you are sealed. So then whoever gets attacked by his super, assuming they get supered before they get to launch their super attack, then their super attack will be sealed. It's the same exact effect. It applies. Think strategically with that one. And then the last one is the one that's the biggest pain in the butt. Well, one of the biggest pain in the butts. This one, the Gotenks event, is, in my opinion, is the biggest pain in the ass out of all the 70% leaders. He has a damage reduction restrictive in the event, so it makes it very hard. And then he switches out between two different types and 3 different cards. So he goes from the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, the Technique type, and then he goes to the Strength Super Saiyan Gotenks, and then he goes down to the base form Super Saiyan Gotenks. So he swaps between those 3. You can do extra damage to him if you bring a Super Buu or a Piccolo. We're going to be going over that a little bit later in the explanation. Level 3 is the strongest fusion, the strongest super fusion. Now it's just a rehash. It's just straight up a rehash of the last event. First round, there are two separate difficulties though. Now you have Z hard and then you have Super 2. I haven't played yet, but I will be doing a gameplay later on, probably either later on today or tomorrow, depending on how things work out. The first round is the Agility Goten and the Physical Trunks. I'm assuming those 2 are going to be pretty easy because it's, those 2. The second round is going to be the Dokkan Awakening of the Physical Gotenks. Now, he will seal you as well. Third round is the new Physical Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. He swaps around between him, the Agility Gotenks, Super Saiyan Gotenks, his Dokkan Awakened version, and the Strength Base Form Gotenks, the Dokkan Awakened version of him. Now, it's the same thing, it's the same exact order between Z hard and Super 2. Super 2 is obviously going to be a hell of a lot harder to beat. So make sure you are ready for that. If you need to, I wouldn't recommend it because it's going to take forever, but you could technically go and farm the Z hard event if you need to, because if you want to get those medals, hey, the grind is real, right? So here's the thing, you get damage boost by using the Piccolo and the Super Buu cards that I was mentioning earlier. So, in my recommendations, you're either going to probably want to take either a physical team or a technique team. Now, this is going to be a little bit difficult because you have Piccolo, who is a super character or a hero character, and then you have Super Buu, who is a villain character or an evil character, or extreme type, actually. But now, this is where you need to come into play. What 120 leaders do you have? I think, personally, you should go with a physical Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks team if you were lucky enough to pull it. If not, you would want to go with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku team. If you have core, then you can technically get away with going with the physical team. We have one physical Piccolo, and he is the one that does the most damage. The reason why I'm not saying bring LR Piccolo is because he has type disadvantage almost the entire time. I don't want to bring him because of that specific reason. He's only good on that last round when he's going up against the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, or I'm sorry, the third round when he's going up either against the Agility or the Strength one, but you have to wait for the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks to get off the field because he's a physical type. So, and you don't want to run a 120 physical leader on this event. Unless you have like Gogeta, maybe you could like have Gogeta and then maybe a couple other cards, but none of them are going to hit that hard against the physical one except for Gogeta. So that's why I'm saying physical and technique types. Those are the 2 ones that have the most advantage or non-type disadvantage on this event. So yeah, in terms of what to run, if you have the Korra, there are 2 Buus that are physical that are really going to help you out. You have the Demonic Shriek Buu Super. His super attack is extreme damage to the enemy and lowers attack, so that's really good that he lowers attack. Extreme damage is kind of but you can farm him up from one of the Buu events. So when you Dokkan Awaken the Fat Technique Buu into Super Buu, then you can feed him into him for that attack buff. The same thing comes for the next Buu that I'm going to talk about, which I probably end up wanting to do that over him, over this one, but you can. The reason why I like this one is because he actually would probably be better on a hero team because of his passive skill. Now, this is still the Demonic Streak Boo. His passive skill, recover 1000 HP for every key orb obtained. Now, he doesn't need to do super attacks. He could just attack if he really wants to, and he gives 1000 HP per recovery. I mean, it's not that great. It's a flat-out recovery, so it's not amazing. He is also a World Tournament card. On the JP version, he was in the World Tournament number 11. Global, he was in number 9. But yeah, he lowers attack and he recovers HP. If you're going to be running this card on a Korra team, you might be able to find a couple other cards. There is the Fat Boo that has the health recovery as well. You can link them two together. They have the regeneration link, so that way they can regenerate, and they have a couple other link skills, and that physical one will always heal you up. That's my first recommendation on a Korra team. Second one would be the Recurring Nightmare Boo Super. He causes supreme damage to the enemy and recovers 15% health when launching a super attack. He is amazing. He would be a perfect person to run on a physical team with a Korra lead. Now, his passive skill is Physical Key Type +3, Extreme Physical Attack and Defense +40%. So not only is he going to be giving everyone on the team key because you're running a mono phys team, he's also going to be buffing all of your physical units. So, I mean, all your extreme physical units by 40% attack and a defense buff with a 120 lead. It's 240, 280 defense buff, which actually starts to become really handy. If you throw that Piccolo in there, the one that I was talking about, a True Master's Dignity Piccolo, I mean, he doesn't need to launch super attacks, but his defensive, by nature, his passive skill is defense plus 70% to all allies. Now, you run that Piccolo on one side, so that way he always gets the attacks off. Well, not always gets the supers off, but he'll get attacks off. He increases defense. And then you have the other Boo, which also increases defense by 40% and the attack. You're going to have a tank of a team. Again, you're not going to tank very well because you're not going to have the type advantage, but it will help you tank nonetheless. So that's my recommendations. It would either be that or the physical Gotenks. It depends on which one you run. I would recommend probably doing the Korra with the Recurring Nightmare Super Boo as an optimal choice in terms of physical team. That way you can just throw the True Master's Dignity in there. Now, the next cards that I'm going to talk about are the Piccolo cards, or the technique cards. I'm going to talk about the Strategic Combat Piccolo. His passive skill, attack and defense plus 15% for all allies. Now, it's not ideal. He doesn't do a lot of damage whatsoever. It's a super strike card. He's not that great at all. He launches super attacks at key of 9, so he might be better on, I mean, obviously, so here's the thing. You don't have the technique extreme leader yet. You only have the Super Saiyan 3 Goku lead. If you have him, you're going to have to run that as your leader. The Strategic Combat Piccolo would be essentially your only choice. I mean, you have him, and then you have Ace up your sleeve Piccolo. He causes huge damage to the enemy and lowers attack. Damage received minus 50% when his guard is activated. His guard's never going to be activated, ever. Maybe once, I think, on the third round of the last stage, when he turns into that agility unit for that one time. Oh, and against Goten in the beginning. The only time you're going to have the type advantage, so he's not going to be that great. You could use him, though. You definitely can use him. I'm not going to say don't use him. He has that specialty where it lowers the attack of the opponent, which is kind of good. He has horrible link skills. He has a very low base attack of 5581. The same thing with Strategic Combat. His base attack is 6932. Neither of these guys are going to do excessive damage, but they will do more damage than not having them on your team. Then there are three super boos that you could run on in terms of extreme damage. You have Descent from Ruin Super Boo. He does supreme damage to the enemy and rare chance to stun, and his passive skill is recover 30% of damage dealt as HP. A little bit better, and he has some decent link skills. Unfortunately, because you're going to be running him on a Super Saiyan 3 Goku team, you really don't want to have any other villains on there. Also, just remember that the Descent from Ruin Super Boo Dokkan awakens from Savage Battle Instinct Boo, so take that into consideration as well. Then you also have the Boo that was available from the event, Murderous Designs Boo Super. He's one who Dokkan awakens from the Fat Boo. It causes extreme damage to the enemy. You can get him up to Super Attack then, though, and he is free to play, so he is more viable for newer players. Passive skill is Fiendish Heart, Key +2, and HP is 50% or above. So it's not horrible. He's a self-reliant sort of. I wouldn't recommend him. But yeah, since you don't have an extreme leader, I would really recommend going with the physical team that I was talking about earlier. You would want to have either, in my opinion, I would prefer the Korra. You would have like Korra and Full Power Frieza, then you would have Piccolo and Super Boo, and then you could rotate whatever other physical cards that you have that are the hardest hitting cards. That's just my opinion, guys. I don't know if whatever you want to run, whatever is working for you. I'm gonna go test out the event now. I don't have Korra, I don't have Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I only have a Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and the strength team is the only good team that I currently have. I'm just giving you a recommendation based off of the event and what cards do deal more damage. There are probably better teams. You might be able to brute force your way through it. I don't know, Super 2, I haven't tried it yet. But yeah, that's my event overview. Let me know what you guys think. How did the event go for you? I haven't played yet, so I don't know. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that sub button. Thank you, appreciate it. Stay tuned for the event playthrough that I will be releasing on Saturday. You all enjoy the weekend because it's going to be beautiful, at least on the East Coast.